Alright, got no eyebrows, and then tons of acne. Alright, so, I was supposed to do these two reviews with Mo. She wasn't feeling well, so I'm gonna, wow, really? Um, I'm just gonna quickly do them myself. So, yeah, so this first one I'm gonna talk about, is the Adam Sandler movie Pixels. Um, I didn't want to wait till like end of the year or technically next year. I can't look back to just kind of give like a quick review on this, but like you know, I remember when we first saw the trailer, where I think when we went to go see like 50 Shades of Grey or something. We were just like, oh yeah, that looks, it's the whole thing where like everyone looks at it, it looks cool or like looks cute, yada yada. Then of course the moment you see Adam Sandler, you're like, well fuck it, I ain't being part of this. Um, But yeah, like in all honesty, that movie, like, it it was all right. Like it wasn't. It could have been a lot worse, knowing all the like Happy Madison movies and stuff that's done by him. Like, I didn't even see like That's My Boy, like for God's sakes. But yeah, like it was fine. Everyone knows it's. I haven't seen the short. Stop moving. I haven't seen the short that it's based on. But everyone keeps saying, obviously, like it's just like that Futurama episode, obviously. Thing is, it's like there were a couple of moments where, like, I chuckled at, not enough to be like ha, but just like you know. Um, yeah, like the the few times I was just like kind of doing one of these and just kind of groaning at the movie was anything like dealing with Adam Sandler. Like anytime where he would say a joke and he's supposed to be like this charismatic kind of guy, but instead he's just a douchebag. Like he'll just be like horribly mean to a woman, but somehow in the end, like, she falls in love with him, and it's like that's just like his formula. And it's like, okay, alright, like, it was just like, I don't know, like, that's like, there's like no charm to him. He's just a douchebag. And then I kind of was glad at one point, like in the beginning, when he goes in to lean in to kiss the girl, and she was just like, whoa, whoa. I was just kind of sobbing in this closet and talking to you, and he's like, oh, okay, like kind of awkward kind of shit. But of course, like, yeah, and so he's supposed to be, like, he's this, like, smart guy, but he works for like a Geek Squad thing, but known as like Nerd or something, but are in all orange or whatever not. Kevin James, his friend, is now president, which I'm just like, wow. So of course they kind of do like a joke. Sorry, there's change all over the floor. Like a joke kind of thing, like with like what happened with like Bush, where like they're saying like making those jokes like, oh, the president can't read kind of stuff, like But he was like, no, I'm just tired. That's why, catastrophic or whatever. I think he fucked up on the word, something like that. Yeah. I remember like during the opening credit sequence, I see it says like Sean Bean's in the movie, and he is as like generic British army guy. Because they're like Centipede comes out and he's like, I'm Sean Bean, and I don't think he died, which I was surprised about that. I was like, oh shit, Sean Bean didn't die. The Prime Minister, like speaks in like generic Brit speak because she kept doing the like thing where she's like when she's meeting up with Kevin James and she's like, oh, Elliot Errol, and like of course like the most horrific stereotypical accent kind of thing. She goes she goes in this all like, oh, Elliot Errol, that's just like a popular carpenter, like I think even South Park. Oh man, South Park obviously. South Park always makes a better joke when it was like Token and the other like rich black people and they're like playing like polo or something and he was just like, oh, I don't remember. But anyway, it was just like all these random terms and like phrases and shit. And at one point even Kevin James turns to her and goes like, what are you saying? And she's like, I don't know. And you're like, and I think I even wrote down like a lot of jokes have like the Family Guy syndrome to them where it's like, you made your joke, and it's like, even if it's not funny, you acknowledge it's funny, like, you made your joke, bam, joke, but then you keep like elongating it. There's like a part where he goes into like, I guess the war room, like the meeting room about what's gonna happen because all these pixel things are happening and all that shit. And Adam Sandler walks in, and then like he says this thing. He's like, "No, I know games, yada yada." And, you know, because his friend is the president, that's the only reason why like any of this stuff is allowed. Like any of the let's fight them like it's a video game thing is allowed because his friend is the president, you know, and believes in him and all that shit. So, but when he's leaving, like, he sees like two people and he does the whole like you know thing where he says they look like whatever celebrity, and it was fine. He's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, fine. You know, he refers to Brian Cox as who plays like this crazy like need to go into war kind of guy, you know. Um, but yeah, like he refers to him as like grandpa or dad or something like that, which is like fine. You gave him that nickname. You're about to leave. You give these other two random people whatever celebrity look-alike name, whatever, and he could have just left. But as he's like exiting, he kept doing that with like every person in the fucking room. And there was like, at least like fucking 10 people in the room, so it was just like that Family Guy thing where you took a joke and you just kept stretching it, stretching it, stretching it. And there's a thing where like with comedic timing where it's funny, then it's not really funny anymore, but then somehow it becomes funny again. But they do the thing where like their their shit falls short where it doesn't even get to the part where it could become funny again. It's just like it was funny and then you're like, alright, just get over with, you know? There's like a like it's just random that he like moonwalked into that meeting room anyway. And I love how they just only shot like his feet, and it was obviously not Adam Sandler doing the moonwalk. But yeah, it was just like, oh hey lady, whatever, and they're like, you know, like, all right, my fucking suitcase is in the way. But yeah, like the graphics were really good though, like the whole making it look like pixels and the whole old my hands are doing this, the old like game look and stuff like that. It was good. It was fucking awesome, you know. But Donkey Kong, like everyone looked fucking awesome. But like other than that, like you know, it's you know like some movies I'll still be like, oh you know, it wasn't so good, but you know like damn, it's got some good matte paintings, or like oh the CG was good, or like hey you know at least like it looks pretty, so you can do that. In some movies, even if it looks good, it's still not redeemable because it's got fucking Adam Sandler in it, you know. Um, and oh yeah, Peter Dinklage's character, I feel really bad because Peter Dinklage, like he's a good actor. We all know that, and he did the the best he could with that kind of dialogue he was given, you know, and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, spoiler, it turns out he was cheating this whole time. So when back in like 1982, you know, like that's why he has like those shades, and they had like the cheat codes in them the whole time, and you know that's how he was able to win at Donkey Kong. So technically, you know, like Adam Sandler is like the Donkey Kong champion, not Peter Dinklage, and that's how when they were in Pac-Man in New York City, how he was able to go from like this part and go zoom over there, you know, and all this other stuff. And like they also had like Josh Gad in it, and he's cool, you know. But I felt like he was playing like the Jack Black role, you know, like the the funny chubby guy who could also sing really well and like musically inclined, and but it also does great physical comedy kind of thing, you know. And especially if it's in like a Happy Madison movie, it feels like you just threw in like a chubby guy to fill in Chris Farley's you know space, you know. And it's kind of like it's even worse that you do that because like people love Chris Farley. Like we, not saying that Josh Gad is any way a replacement for Chris Farley. No one can be, but it's kind of like, how about you not remind us that you know, like your friend is gone, or maybe he can't. I don't know, whatever. But it's just, I don't know, man. But Josh Gad, like, you know, like I enjoyed, you know, whatever he did because he's always, you know, a little funny guy. He's the guy in Book of Mormon. This book was written by Jesus. You know. Oh man, I still need to see that on stage. Like, I swear to God, it's like $300 to $400 even for cheap seats. Like, what for one ticket? But put that down. Anyway, yeah, like, what else was there? There's something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, and also like Josh Gad, like he's like in love with like a video game character named Lady something. Well, anyway, it's like the, hot blonde chick in a red dress with dueling like swords and all that stuff. Then at one point he has to like fight her, but then he was just like, nope, nope, I'd rather you kill me because you're my like, and it's just like, it's like that really sad nerd thing, and then they're like, oh yeah, like because they won Qbert and that was cool, but then somehow like after all the alien pixel people go back where you came from, Qbert turns into that video game character, and then freaking Josh Gad is just like making out with her. And the only part that actually got me cracking up was when Adam Sandler even said, he was like, is no one gonna acknowledge that that was Qbert? Because I was thinking that, and like he said it, and I actually like, that's the few parts I actually really like laughed out loud. Um, yeah, but other than that, like just like a good part of it was just like the nostalgia of it, because it's all like old 8-bit games, that kind of stuff. And but it was also like, it's so tiring to hear things of like, oh, old games versus new games, da da da, and the old games. And it made me think like, because even though this movie came out before Fantastic Four, I saw it after Fantastic Four, so all the fuck I kept hearing when he kept saying like, oh, the things about the patterns, and like fucking, what's her name, Sue Storm kept talking about the patterns and all that shit. You gotta figure out the patterns and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh my god, shut up. And it was just like, yeah, like the nostalgia part of it was cool, and like I said, the graphics were fine. Kevin James is a funny guy. It's just, he just has to just stop dealing with anything that deals with Adam Sandler, because he's funny on his own. Like, he doesn't need that. I'm not saying, like, I didn't say Paul Blart or any of that bullshit, but like, when he does his own, like, the stand-up thing he had from back in like the early 2000s, it's still funny. Like, he's a funny guy. Like, fuck, man. But yeah, like that was Pixels, because it's, yeah, I was gonna just like pretty much tell Mo this whole thing and then how I react to it, but it's all good. Oh my god, yeah, it's just this. It's one of those movies where like this had a lot of potential. It's kind of like, I feel like this could have been like a live action kind of thing of how like Wreck-It Ralph was, because there was a lot of video game elements to it, like a lot of nostalgia to it, a lot of fun, a lot of like cool things to look at. Like even if you're not a fan of games or whatever, like you still like it because it's, it's fun. But I feel like, yeah, it's like you got the thing that works, which is, freaking Wreck-It Ralph, and you got the thing that doesn't work, which is Pixels, because of Adam Sandler. Like, a lot of the negative reviews that came out, like some of them, like, I feel like they just gave it such horrible reviews because they just really hate Adam Sandler, which I don't blame them, but you just kind of like, you can't just like, you have to be, like, when you're critiquing something like that, you can't just be like, I hate that person, so I hate this thing. I'm not a big fan of, like, some actors or actresses, but I'd be like, yeah, it's fine, I'm not a big fan of them, but this was fine, whatever. But anyway, that was Pixels and whatever not. And what card is this? Oh, that's funny, because I use that. Yeah, so that was Pixels and all that shit, and whatever. The end.